Welcome, everybody, to Mud Flood was Armageddon. The Mud Flood was the Armageddon. Don't let them tell you anything else unless they're willing to debate you in a fair and honest way. It looks like I have Jonathan Klecht on the agenda again tonight. Jonathan Klecht was like Paul Stopes to me. Paul Stopes is the clown Nephilim guy. Uh, Everyone used to tell me I started Flat Earth Nation Golden Age Past 2016. Jonathan Klecht came out, I think 2017, 2018. Eventually evolved into where he thought he was the Messiah. I've got some video clips where one he's saying, I am the angel of Philadelphia from the book of Revelation. The government is your tithe. So somebody's going to rule over us. We've had a long relationship before the golden age, before everything, of being ruled with a rod of iron is the big question. Why did the golden age need to be ruled with a rod of iron? And is that tied into Isaiah 19? We're going to look at that. What happened then was referred to as they were rebuilding the ruins. They found the ruins. Jerusalem wasn't called Jerusalem or the city of David. They took it over and rebuilt it up. Like it's the same cities we have today. We can build them up, we can fix them up, we can fake them. Water is the most important thing. The Bible emphasizes that. How much is water needed? Well, ask in the Bible the people of Moab. The Hebrews were going to pass peacefully through there, and they go, look, we'll buy the water. We'll overpay for it. We don't want to do anything. And they said no. What does it mean, like, to be thirsty? What is it like? My heart is searching for the Lord. It's beating like a deer panteth for the water brook. Something to think about. I was talking to RJ earlier. He said, we are breathing dust. Yeah, I guess we do only run on water, food, and electric, but we are a spirit being drawn, called, and we're living in very curious times. I'm going to need to get after that. Oop, I didn't share the screen yet. I thought I had everything in order. Started at 9/11 because I have a clip pulled up about, the first time I heard 2.3 trillion was what the day before 9/11, September 10th. It's been in the news because of Charlie Kirk's assassination last September 10th and all the shenanigans going on concerning everything revolving around that. So, my most recent, we're going to touch on silver. We're going to start with this one. There is a silver squeeze, something's going on. You don't hold silver in the price range of, between $9 and $20 for 4 decades, and then all of a sudden it's worth $120 in some places. That's curious. Socialism must be codified into law as illegal. It's a cult. Is it? Everybody's going to find different ways. Short 206 million ounces of silver. Tomorrow might be the day where we go, hey, it's time for digital coin. I was looking at radios today. This is a type of something. That's not a radio, but that was almost the thumbnail. It's like a laptop projecting onto the wall. No way. We might just skip over some of this stuff here, but I did look up pin insulators, saw it, wow, 33 kilovolts. It's everywhere. You can't go anywhere. Some of these are worth, anywhere from $5 up to $2,000, but they are everywhere. 1780s. This is 1893. Found near Silverton, Colorado. That's about 60 miles away from me. And used in Chicago for that famous, that's the White City, the one that we all study. Human DNA detected in 2 billion-year-old meteorite. What? So this is the new thing? I'm the one that's been saying all rocks are human DNA. So they found one, tested it, found, now they're putting out it. They're going to switch it to it's the alien seeded, what they call the universe, and some landed on Earth, and no, it's the Anunnaki. So he did a false prophet. So he's in the news. He's on my mind. He was a pain in my butt. I hope I was sharing the screen on that. I see the way it's going to be.
Tried in many unusual locations, from coal mines to bank vaults. But
How new is everything? Everything's brand new. So they were experimenting with radios, but now you've got a tracking device in your pocket in less than 100 years.
it is doubtful if any radio equipment has been located in more picturesque surroundings. Roy A. Wiegand, chief engineer of the DeForest Radio Company, at work on a receiver circuit in his laboratory. The writing on the wall during the presentation of a radio play in an English broadcasting studio.
During a radio play, they could project the text on the wall.
The typewritten pages of the manuscript were projected on a screen on the studio wall where all could see it. The microphone, English style, is enclosed in the rectangular box in the center. Aboard the SS George Washington, Captain Cunningham has a broadcast receiver.
So we sure went to the moon. This was interesting to me, though. Forget what they called that, a Wellington antenna. Maybe we'll bump into it. Thought you'd like it. Look at this. Here's where they talk about the silver, wrapping it up.
What the Supreme Courts of the United States and the Supreme Court of Texas exists for. Either the law exists or it doesn't. We are about to find out. In conclusion,
the law has been corrupted. Satan's in charge. The George Bush had Denny Hastert as Secretary of State, third in line for the president, convicted pedophile. We're ruled by the pedophiles. This isn't, theory. This is what our government is. And you can't keep turning it into capitalism, socialism, Republican, Democrats. They are all in on it. And it's about to hit the fan. Hit the fan. It's going to hit the fan. Dangerous liaisons. I mentioned that recently. From 1991, everybody knew the CIA and Israel were in bed together. It was being revealed. The new information about the USS Liberty, and that was a unprovoked attack. They were doing that cover your ass thing. The Pollock, everybody's known this since the early 90s, when I was like 30. So I had a couple of these. We don't need to look at them all, but she was already exposing the threat. It wasn't really anything, but these people have always been in the news. If it's not going to be Netanyahu, it was Ben Gurion, it was then Pollard's. It was like some people saying they're spying on us. No, well, maybe a little, but they're our friends. We gave them nuclear weapons. I wanted to see when this book was written here. This was a review. It summarizes what went on from 1948 to 1990. I wonder if it laid out everything about Operation Paperclip, the things that I've been saying. I'm doing a show. I feel obligated. It's what I do. Wow. Occidental, that was owned the Gore family, Vice President Al Gore, hanging Chad, Bush gets in. That's how Al Gore got rich and still is rich. Oh, I got it pulled up.
Occidental plant were so low that the men were declared sterile. This news came as a surprise to the workers who had not been informed of the chemical's dangers, even though the chemical's dangers had been observed even before it had been approved for sale. Studies conducted by Shell and Dow 20 years earlier had found that in animals, prolonged exposure to DBCP led to liver, kidney, and lung damage, in addition to elevated levels of cancer and shriveled testicles. Yet the product was approved for sale by the United States government anyway, because the companies had expressed doubt that the results would not be repeated in humans. Whoops.
Hang on, this is going to be it's crazy because they still needed it to grow bananas. So even though it was declared illegal and all these people were sterile and they're sorry, I think it was United Fruit said, no, we need it to grow bananas, man. And so you got any left over?
Thanks to a lawsuit, Occidental Petroleum would ultimately pay out millions of dollars to those employees affected by the chemical. And more importantly, in 1979, DBCP was banned from use in the continental United States.
The Occupational Safety and Health Administration is issuing an emergency temporary standard for lead liver exposure. The Environmental Protection Agency is proposing a suspension on crop application and other uses of this pesticide. And the Food and Drug Administration is launching a food monitoring program to determine if the general public is consuming unsafe amounts of this pesticide.
However, companies based in the United States were not banned from using DBCP in foreign countries. And conveniently, that's where all of the banana plantations that relied on the chemical were located.
You've heard about the banana republics. The CIA did it, and we were killing people left and right. I told you that this movie Gravity, the girl was born in Lake Zurich. I had to find it. I guess I did.
Explorer, new data coming through. What's the blowback, Houston? It's not good. Most of our systems are gone. Debris chain reaction is out of control and rapidly expanding. Multiple satellites are down, and
So this is a very popular movie, and they're just going about their work and filming in a fish tank, and then boy, all you know what breaks loose.
Dr. Stone requesting faster transport.
We have to go. Activity reports meteorological conditions.
Houston, Explorer, copy. Explorer, Dr. Stone requesting faster transport to Bay Area. Explorer, do you copy?
Explorer, permission to retrieve Dr. Stone.
Here goes one. Houston, Explorer, copy.
No, don't wait for us.
It's stuck.
Man down.
Houston, this is Explorer, copy.
Man, this is so dramatic. Watch this. Get a close up. So after the man rescues her and everything goes crazy, Get another clip here.
O2 down to 2%.
We're getting there. Beautiful, don't you think?
What?
The sunrise. That's what I'm gonna miss the most.
For someone to get her off my mind.
So where's home, Dr. Stone?
Angels are hard.
Ryan, where's home?
Home?
Down there. Mother Earth. Where do you pitch your tent?
Lake Zurich.
Where the hell is that?
That's in Illinois. That's where I raised. I lived in a house in Lake Zurich for 30 years. Man, that's a messed up, crazy town. Well, here's some of Jonathan Kleck. First, he'll be confusing the word for image with Greek and Hebrew, probably unaware that Greek and Hebrew both have like 3 different words that could mean image. But he doesn't care. He just was throwing it out there. And now somehow he's back and it's gone up from 200 subscribers to 404 6 years ago. So I don't see it going anywhere.
Sure. Okay. And this is according to the word of God. Colossians 1, verse 15.
Boy, his voice.
Who is the image? It's ikone. Representation, resemblance.
Yeah, so anyway, he switches over to Hebrew to compare it.
Likeness. That is literally, if you were going to say a statue, profile. Representation, resemblance, image. A likeness. It doesn't say phantom. It doesn't say phantom image. It doesn't say, it doesn't say phantom image. It does not say vain show. It does not say representative figure, especially an idol.
See, he just switched to Genesis. So it really, where was that other one? Now, I had the one where he was saying, I'm the angel of Philadelphia, but Jonathan Kleck. Let's just see what it's like. All about the destruction of America. This must be relatively new. Is he doing something? He's still around?
Hey guys, God bless you. Welcome to This Is It 4321. Okay. Hey guys, God bless you. Welcome to This Is It 4321. Okay, before I start talking, please watch this.
Well, you could have him. There he is, everybody. He's still the angel.
Supernatural gifts to prove it. So I'm going to put all my money on the Lord God, Jesus, and I would be willing to, say that there's a high possibility that what's coming looks like it may be coming, and that may as a form of.
Wow. Yeah, I'm using it right now, man.
Never intended to actually hurt anybody?
In fact, it looks like everything he did was to evacuate people before he detonated his device.
Is there anything about this case that troubles you to this day?
Actually, yes.
Laskowski worries about other people deep in the throes of conspiracy theories.
To not reframe your words, but you're worried about the next person who's out there that may be at that edge of madness that wants to do something like this, and are you going to get to them in time?
Exactly.
How often do you think about it?
Every day. I'm just traumatized.
While she is still haunted by Warner's impact on her life.
This is my mom's tree.
Perry says there's one day.
It's Christmas. I don't worry about what he did on Christmas.
bomb in downtown Nashville 5 years ago. His name was Anthony Warner. Now, we've now obtained this photograph along with several others showing his bizarre behavior long before the bombing. Now, this
is a machine. He was killed now, and it's coming out now. You can see this is 12/22/25, less than a month ago. He could spot reptile people, and are reptile people in the news, in the conspiracy world? You know they absolutely are. They wrap it up by, trying to prove it. They've been building for it a long time. It's like the Mandela effect. When these people are dealing with decades like they're a week, why wouldn't they film some of the scenes with that girl with braces in her friend Jaws and some without? Because then they'd go, oh no, it's so easy if your eyes are open to discount the world.
Allows them to see past the BS.
E ao mesmo tempo, nós não vamos parar por aí. Já estão encomendados.
What's this? So I guess that's their proof he's a lizard.
She had all these tests done, and then when she had an MRI, the MRI scan returned and showed only a few white matter abnormalities. The abnormalities were located near the certain part of the brain, which is associated with.
Are you going to believe that the demons or Nephilim or clowns, angels could mate? They had a 3-way in the Garden of Eden. You're going to be going down any road. Now, Stellium 7, he's back. He's still more popular than ever. This one here, he's done it. Let's see how, did it today. He's changed from most of the biogeology, and now it's like they're going to true living and meditation and everything. They're going to teach you now without Jesus. And many of you that bear witness, RJ bears witness. He was there when he called me to learn about biogeology, but he didn't want to do it with Christ. So he did it with reptiles. And then everything that I teach, he teaches without Christ. That's the way it's been. That's my life. That's the way God wants it.
Sounds so crazy.
And now he's back, it's like, so this is today? What's going on with the Grand Canyon? Is it fractals? I'm going to stick with, it can't be, maybe it's the Hopi Indians, and that these were all buildings, and it's meltology. Oh my goodness, it's anything but Jesus, anything but Christ. That's the new ABCs.
I don't know. All I do is put it all on the table. Here we go. It's all.
You scrape it off other people's table, make one video a week, have almost 350,000 subscribers that pays your bill so you don't have to sell coffee anymore.
All on the table. Pick your option. Go ahead and leave it in the comment. Just A, B, or C. No explanation needed. What do you think? A, water. B, electricity. C. C is kind of a blend between meltology and electricity. Some sort of serious wipeout.
Because they don't want mud flood was Armageddon. There was Noah's flood. There were buildings before.
So now this pattern is the city. I know. Just crazy. What a fool you are, John. I know.
Well, you could stick with the glittering sword, or you could just be an itchy ear, jump on any bandwagon. I think a lot of people are going to be sorry in the next week, the next month, the next year, going up to this midterm and things, about how crazy things can get. And what seemed like a fun little hobby is your life. I looked up molybdenum and found out it's like silver. It's basically This would be one of the deals of, you need to take this, Paco. I feel fine, except when I need to take silver because I get infections and it's an antibiotic. Hey, go check your doctor. It's my opinion. Look, but there's 1,000 things that would never have happened if there wasn't a channel called Mud Flood was Armageddon, but first it was called Flat Earth Nation, Golden Age Past. That's what tied in. Hey, we're reading Revelation wrong. I'm not embarrassed. I'm not going to say I wasn't the first channel to do it. That would be unloyal to what God has called me. We got 1,000 people. He's just starting out, but he gets more views than me. He's not shadow banned. Where are we? He knows it's short season.
Came down out of heaven. Revelation 21 verse 24 states that the nations which are saved would walk in the light of the city of God. The kings of the earth would bring their glory and honor into the city. Revelation 22 verse 14 reveals that they that do his commandments may have the right to the tree of life
and the water of life. Lot to think about.
Murderers, idolaters, and whosoever loves and makes a lie. Not even the Christians believe scripture.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Jonathan Klecht is lying. Paul Stoops was lying when he said he did a bunch of mushrooms many, many times, and the same entities kept coming to him, and eventually he figured out he should stop taking mushrooms and warn everybody what they told him not to look into. Oh yeah, perfect sense to me.
That prophesied multiple times that Jesus would return before the people alive at that time would pass away. We are collective lovers of a lie, and that is why we live outside, without the city of God.
That's a pretty loud
If any man shall take away from the words of the book of this prophecy, God shall take away his part out of.
Well, they don't only, do that, they add to it. Here's another gospel of Jesus Christ. I had to turn away a couple of Mormons again today. Isaiah 20. It does mention Tarshish in this here. It's kind of weird. The Isaiah 19 aspect. Why did God have to rule with a rod of iron? Why did God have to rule with a rod of iron? Isn't the rod, spare the rod, spoil the child? We have a glimpse possibly in Isaiah 19, where it goes on and on. Cornerstones of her tribe led Egypt astray. Is this part of the rod? The Lord poured out spirit of confusion. Somebody led Egypt astray, but they still trembled with fear beneath the uplifted hand of the Lord of hosts. The land of Judah will bring terror to Egypt. The Lord of hosts has planned it. In that day, 5 cities in the land of Egypt will speak the language of Canaan and swear allegiance to the Lord of hosts. It keeps building like this. The Lord will strike Egypt with a plague. He'll strike them, but heal them. They will turn to the Lord, hear their prayers. In that day, there will be a highway from Egypt to Assyria. The Assyrians will go to Egypt. The Egyptians will go to Assyria. The Egyptians and the Assyrians will worship together. In that day, Israel will join a 3-party alliance with Egypt and Assyria, a blessing upon the earth. The Lord of hosts will bless them, saying, Blessed be Egypt, my people, Assyria, my handiwork, and Israel, my inheritance. If you want to be a part of that, you should understand there really were Hebrews. They really did impress the Medes, the Babylonians, and the Persians. There really is a difference in the sexes. Now, King Xerxes sat on his royal throne. He was ruling 127 provinces from India to Kush. The third year of his reign, he held a feast. So, he was showing off all the nobles and princes. Half a year, he displayed his glorious riches of his kingdom, magnificent splendor of his greatness. There was a part in the royal palace, 7-day feast, the citadel of Susa. You know how those star fort cities look in the picture? They look that, well, there's hangings of white and blue linen fastened with cords of fine white and purple material to silver rings on the marble pillars. You've seen the pictures. Gold and silver couches were arranged with mosaic pavement of porphyry, marble, mother of pearl, and other costly stones. You've seen the pictures of their floors. You've seen the archaeologists find them. Beverages were served in an array of goblets, gold. Well, we've seen what they look like. We know what they were using. This is a real history where kings went around taking over other kings until there were three in charge: the Medes, the Babylonians, and the Persians. And, well, at one time they all agreed, because it was proven to them the Hebrews' God, Jesus, is the true God, the true creator, and everybody should help him rebuild the temple, and then they should go there and worship, and they'll be better for them. But this is what I wanted to talk about: Queen Vashti. She was having a party that night, banquet for the women, and I'm sure she was feeling it and feeling good. The king's heart was made merry with wine. He ordered 7 eunuchs, go bring Queen Vashti before him. I wanted to show everybody how beautiful she is. Queen Vashti refused to come at the king's command brought by his eunuchs. The king became furious, and his anger burned within him. But he didn't go knock her over the head and say, that's what I do. He consulted wise men who understood the times. What would make a woman act like that? It was, for the king, customary to talk to the experts of the law and justice. So he wanted to make sure. He had these guys. There's a Tarshish, the 7 princes of Persia and Media, who actually could talk to the king, and he just wanted to know what should do according to the law. What's got to be done with Queen Vashti, since she refused to obey the command of King Xerxes delivered by the eunuch. Now, Memucan spoke up, replied, Queen Vashti has wronged not only King Xerxes, but all the princes and the peoples, not only the men, all the peoples in all the provinces, the 127. Wow. For the conduct of the queen will become known to all the women. Say that you don't have to listen to your husband. If you're busy, and he has to understand, damn it. This will cause them to despise their husbands. That was the warning then. They nipped it in the bud. They'll say King Xerxes ordered Queen Vashti to be brought before him, but she did not come. This very day, the noble women of Persia and Media who have heard about the queen's conduct will say the same thing to all the king's officials, resulting in much contempt and wrath. Here it comes. We need a royal decree. There's going to be somebody in charge. You're not going to be in charge, not me. Somebody is. So goodbye, Queen Vashti. Get a better girl and let it known. It's not going to be happening. The edict, the king issues will be heard throughout this very vast kingdom. So all women, from the least to the greatest, will honor their husbands. Love is not necessarily right there. Husbands, you must love your wife, it says in the New Testament. And what does it say to the women? Honor your husband. You want some more? These guys there. Oh, she's pretty. Ice, ice, Barbie. Smoke screen, cover up. Oh, conservative women are prettier than liberals. They're hags.
Misplaced. Do you remember what happened a day before 9/11? Rumsfeld got up there and said, "Looks like we've been tangled in our anchor chain." The Pentagon.
Is that what you say when the budget's a couple $100 billion and all of a sudden you're announcing you've lost $2.3 trillion? The next day is the biggest false flag ever, 9/11, but you're tangled in your anchor chain. Just ha ha ha. $2.3 trillion. That was pretend money then. It's pretend money now.
Pentagon can't seem to find $2.3 trillion. That's a lot of waste. And whatever happened to auditing Fort Knox, they kind of dropped that like a hot potato. And oh, by the way, have I mentioned the Epstein list lately? And yeah, I'll be sure to mark this post for the future where I know you'll see to it that the truth never comes out. And this is all just a WWE dog and pony show where you guys pretend to talk big. You pretend that you're going to bring the truth out into the light, but nothing ever happens.
It's gone. No, you're there. It's so happy. Aren't we so happy that we don't have Kamala Harris? Oh my goodness, we got the warp speed vaccine maker in charge. So we know about, the law of Moses. We have Sennacherib and we have Sargon. These were the great kings, and they all had their laws. None of their laws just basically said it's okay to cheat and steal and rob. They all pretended to be good. It is all coming down to that there was that council in heaven. Jesus created them in that image, male and female, and they had something going on where they didn't have to go potty. And I'm sure that the Elohim that was in charge of Persia was probably that angel that not Gabriel, the angel had to fight to go help Daniel. 21 days the Persian withheld me, but I'm here to tell you, Daniel, there were Elohim in heaven. Jesus created them. He was in charge of them to show what Psalm 82 talks about. Those Elohim didn't keep the law. They showed favoritism. They didn't show respect to the poor, the widow, the homeless. They made different caste systems. The Sennacherib, we have that whole granite thing with their laws. It's mostly economic. Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. Unless you're a royal class, then they can pay you cash. The main difference between Jesus' law for the Hebrews was that, no, it doesn't matter. If you're a rich person and you're caught, you're caught. You can't get out of it because you're a different caste. The other systems had castes. And that's not the way it was supposed to be. And were they big? My goodness. We have the proof. We have the proof of the Persians, the Babylonians, the Sargons. We see their pictures We know their writing. We have to admit we can read their writing, unlike some of the other ones. We go, we still don't understand it. Sure. It looks Semitic to me. That's a prisoner, one of the guys he caught. Uh, were they living in nice towns? It sure looks like it based on the rubble. When they said my life is in ruins, if you have a bunch of slaves, you can fix it up and make it pretty nice. These guys did it. And they lived it. They lived it because the Bible is true. They knew more about us being batteries run by water. Let's just keep going, though. This Rogers Underground Sea radio system, you can't really find out much about it. This is what I wanted to know about. What did I search for? That Rogers antenna. Hard to find out about, but it was a big deal in flat Earth because of that, 1 mile per 8 inches squared thing. But the pesticide thing, this has been going on for a long time, where they were making people sterile for the banana republics. And it was the CIA that did it. This is some dangerous stuff they're messing with. Banned in 79, but had to be given, was still used to grow bananas. Dow Chemical. They're messing with our endocrine system. Dole Food, pineapples in Hawaii, everything so that they could. I mean, people, I wish you could go back, or I wish you could experience my taste buds of what the food was like in the 1960s when I was growing up, before they started to realizing people need planned obsolescence now. Yeah, these high-speed fibers. It was way ahead of their time. They couldn't have done it. I got into pin insulators of how you needed to withstand that much electricity so quickly. And some of these things are worth thousands of dollars. And man, I know where they're just laying on the ground, but some of them are only worth $2. What makes it? What makes it? What is this? What's going on in the world today? Again, America, is this really the side you want to be on? Again, he's one of these lapsed Christians. He goes, I can't stand the church any day. This and that. They're not doing everything, they don't care about real freedom. And he calls out this guy, and then another guy, like, I'm an American. It's chaos in Minneapolis because they brought the chaos to Minneapolis. I want to end with it. It's not one way or the other. There's a wide, wide road, and everybody that's replacing, they're exposing lies, but they're not telling you this is all about Jesus Christ.
Be safe from the illegal immigrants who are taking over. You need to comply with the federal government. If you don't comply with our authority, there will be hell to pay. Both sides are asking, or actually demanding, that bigger government gets bigger and bigger and takes more and more control over the lives of everybody. And this results in you demoralizing and dehumanizing your own heart because you had to step away from principle to promote political psychopathic parasites. You know this to be true. I know this to be true. Everybody knows that politicians lie. They're as corrupt as the day is long. They don't work for or represent you. They work for and represent the donor class, the corporate elitist class, the technocrats. And this isn't what's currently happening right now. I don't care if it happened under the Obama administration or the Biden administration or the Trump administration or Reagan or whoever. What's happening is they're claiming we're going to keep you safe from the illegals, while in the background, we set up the Palantir surveillance police control grid.
This is one of those times where I would I can honestly admit, I wish I had said this. He's nailing it.
They want predictive policing set in place. That's why you see all these flock safety cameras going up all over the place. It's not just about surveillance, tracking you, tracing you, monitoring you. They want to control you. They want to set up a 100% surveillance and control grid, which ends with the CBDC or the central bank digital currency, where you can't buy anything, you can't sell anything, you can't go anywhere without them knowing exactly what you're doing. And until we band together and understand what's going on and that we've all been duped, ain't nothing going to change. As a matter of fact, you can count on it getting.
This is a little bit of his false hope too, where he's still hoping for change. He gives some good examples.
Country in the United States of America, the land of the free, home of the brave, and people are applauding this.
Shame on you!
Man, what a madhouse.
And brain dead political pundits are applauding this. They want this. They want more of it. They're claiming this is what I voted for. Well, if that's what you voted for, then you voted for this as well.
I became president and was the best president ever for the people of Israel and for Jewish people, the best president ever. On top of everything else, I gave them more than $20 billion, Israel. And I said, when I did it, I said, I'm the best friend they ever had.
Oh,
because Joe Biden only gave them 17 billion. So, way to go.
Biden did it too. Biden gave, what was it, 17 billion dollars?
That's right.
After October 7th, more money flowed from America to Israel. Why? We can't afford it. We're $39 trillion in.
Because it's all pretend money to get him to this part. Now, this guy is so scripted. This had to be written by 30 psychologists with help of AI.
Done in the past, if you want to know the truth, because I think Israel's in big trouble.
And in spite of that disturbing fact, we still have shameless bootlickers who say dumbass shit like this.
So if you live in a blue city, please understand that ICE did not bring chaos to your city. Chaos brought ICE to your city. Open borders.
Oh man, that's not a cliche, but isn't it so clever? No, the wide road will eat it up. And the government is going to put the boot on you, and then you're going to go like, "Hey, wait, what?"
Created the mess. Sanctuary policies enabled it, and now federal law enforcement is cleaning it up. It's not.
In other words, the government created the problem you now currently have, waited till that all boiled over for the fear-based, outraged leftist reaction, and then stepped in to provide the pre-planned solution that gives the federal government, whether it's going to be Democrat or Republican, more power over the rest of us. Congratulations, Republicans and Democrats.
Not complicated. Look, you don't have to like it. You can defend murderers, drug dealers, and child rapists all you want.
Murderers, drug dealers, and child rapists, those are found in the U.S. government, in the highest echelons of government. Remember?
Right. You're still talking about the Jeffrey Epstein list? Is that what Trump said after, it was Cash Patel? This video is, I wish I said it.
Remember in the 8 years that George W. Bush was the president of the United States, so there's a Speaker of the House named Dennis Hastert, and a federal judge declared him to be a serial child predator.
He used to coach when I was in Illinois wrestling, former MVP of a 16-team tournament. His team wasn't there, or I wouldn't have been that guy, but he had to coach. They were champions all the time, and he was raping them left and right from the 70s.
Hastert. And if you think it stops at the second person in line for the presidency, which Dennis Hastert could have become the president of the United States if something happened to the president and the vice president. If you think it stops there, you got another thing coming. So if there's any record of murderers and drug traffickers and rapists, look in the halls of government in Washington's district of
Reagan.
criminals, Republican and Democrat.
Yep.
So we're going to trust the rapists, thieves, and murderers to protect us from the rapists, thieves, and murderers. Can you explain that?
Just understand that if you don't stay out of the way, there will be consequences. And me personally, I'd like to send a message to all the ICE agents out there putting in long hours and dealing with dangerous situations and the antics from.
He salutes them. And then the next fake.
Guy says, only this guy's going to say it a little different.
Well, I guess I get to be that guy. I get to be the guy that says what everyone else is thinking. Mr. President, we the people would like for you to invoke the Insurrection Act of 1807.
Please, Daddy Government, protect and serve us a little harder. Tread on us a little more mercilessly. We need you to increase federal power because a bunch of them leftists over there in Minneapolis, Minnesota just ain't following in line. You know what? When the reins of power change, all that power you gave to the federal government, it stays in the federal government, no matter who's in power. So you're actually asking the Demoplicans and the Republicans to rule you a little bit more mercilessly.
We the people are exhausted. We the people have witnessed the minority, the domestic terrorists burn this country down for the better part
How
of
many people watching this, the 400,000 that he shows later, live out in this type of a country? No, this guy is living so far away from the city, being safe. He could tell all the people in the other cities, you know, oh, yeah, it's going to be fine. And I don't know. He's just a little too well groomed for me. And like Brian will note, it's too edited.
a decade, and they have done so under Democrat leadership. They have done so with the liberal media provoking it and fueling it. And we have watched them destroy this country without repercussions. We have witnessed them attack our military.
Notice how many edits there are here. This isn't pouring from this guy's heart. He's reading a script. He's going one line by one line, continually editing this thing. I don't have a problem with edits, but these little short blurps of videos, this is 1 minute and 38 seconds, and you got like 50 edits in there because this guy's reading a script and he's basically just towing the party line. He's actually, he's speaking for the Democrats, the Democrat Party, because when you push the Democrat Party across the finish line, you're pushing the Republican Party across the finish line. When you're pushing the Republicans, you're pushing the Democrats. It's not a two-party system. It's a uniparty system controlled by the corporate elitists who put forward their guy, their CEO for their corporation, giving you the appearance of the choice of between one and two people, but it's really just the illusion of choice because every vote is a vote for them and against the people. And imagine the gall, imagine the arrogance of speaking for we the people. We the people demand that you enact the Insurrection Act. Well, I'm part of the people and I don't want the Insurrection Act. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I just want freedom. And I know you ain't going to get freedom when you increase and empower federal forces.
And attack our law enforcement without repercussions. We the people.
Don't you dare attack our road pirates. Don't you dare attack the domestic terrorists. Step in line, tax cattle. Go vote for your favorite.
I'll tell you what, I don't think I would have predicted or seen the day when I would have thought, okay, there's a leftist protester and he just jumped on the back of a cop. We're powder keg right now. And I think tomorrow morning, silver market, the World Economic Forum start tomorrow, the digital coin thing. Things move slowly until they don't. I'm not going to make a reckless prophecy. I'm 2 for 2, and I'm until the Lord says, here, go say this again. I'm not going to just spout off different things. The other two are still in play. It's a flat earth nation. The golden age is past. The mud flood was Armageddon. Me and my friends will never tell you anything else. We understand. You have an orphan trained brain. They added 1,000 years. We didn't understand the Bible until 10 years ago. Doesn't mean your granny's not saved. We don't understand how that works now, but we know that once things are revealed, those are what you're going to be judged by. We know that Christ, joy to the world, the Lord has come, let everybody rejoice, did not come to bring peace only, but division, so that you'll be able to understand who's really following the Lord. Amen. Hallelujah. Aho. Aloha. Arriba dirt. Ciao. Sayonara. Auf Wiedersehen. Nakamain. Adios, amigos. I'm at the border of Colorado and New Mexico. How about you?